Good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. It's on a Sunday. It's on a Saturday today, the 8th of March. So we back on the channel every weekend. We stream live, and when we are settled, when everyone is home, and then there's chance to listen and to know what's going on. So now, today we are talking about how do we get jobs in the UK as truck drivers, how to be employed, how to make it be in a wagon of yourself or in a truck of yourself, working be it 5 days a week, 4 days a week, whichever hours configuration that is. But we're working there on a daily basis. So now, number one, if you are here the first time, please subscribe, like the channel, learn, be here to comment, give insights, comments, questions, so that we can answer as we go along today. Right. That's the first thing. Secondly, please subscribe on the channel so that each time I post places, I post new videos, information. Was every day I do research is to know what is going on the market, what is going on, where are the jobs coming, where can we get jobs, what is going on, everything and everything that is going on. So we try to help each other in that. So please, if you feel that you want information on how to work, you want information about getting a job, please let you come and gather here today. Let's you gather here now. Let you come and gather so that we can share information on that. And I have been busy for the week doing researches um, so that people can get help. So good afternoon wherever you are. Um, be it around the UK, be it anywhere around the world. Please be free to be here and let's talk. Right. Let's talk about someone who is trying to get a license. Oh yes, just got in. Let's start from getting. You haven't gotten your license. So what do you do? In most places or most countries, when you get a job, when you want to get a job, you must speak to someone. You must know someone. Then that someone will recommend you somewhere, and then somewhere they will expect you. When you get there, then you get assessed. In some countries, people would, when you get somewhere, you see someone, you pay someone, and then that someone speak to someone, then you get assessed. And maybe you get the job or you don't get the job. But now, we are not elsewhere, we are not somewhere, we are not in places that we don't know. We are in the UK. Well, so when you are in the UK, if you are looking for a job, it's straightforward. Number one, get your license. Number two, when you get the license, go online, go to Indeed, all the job sites, check what companies are there, which companies are assisting, which companies are employing. Welcome, good afternoon for those who are joining us. We are talking about how to get a job in the UK as a truck driver or just any other job whatsoever. Any other job. Specifically today, we want to deal with truck driving, and then we talk about the benefits of driving, and then we get to see if to be a truck driver is actually benefiting the public or yourself or your family. Is it good enough as a truck driver, or is the money enough or good? How much salaries are we getting? So we need to dive into all that as we go along. So I will unpack slowly so that people can understand what I'm talking about, each by each on points issue. Thank you very much for coming and joining. Right. So number one, you get your license today. Surely you know when you get your license, the license card by itself as a professional driver is not enough. So you need a competence card. But that one is not easy. You get it once you pass, they process it for you to get a competence card or a defensive card. In other countries, it's called to include PDP or professional driving permit on your card. That is not enough in the UK. You now need to have a tachograph card. The tachograph card is basically the clock, the monitor, the one that is used to check. I did a video of tachograph card. So if you check on my bio, on my videos, you get one on my shorts or my videos, you get what is called a tachograph. I explained more about it. and its uses and how it works. But that's the card that you need, that you're going to use every day for you to clock in and clock out, including breaks in between, right? Supposedly, you have the 3 cards that you need. Now we are going to, how do we actually get a job? Jobs are everywhere, but who do I speak to? Jobs are everywhere, but how do I get to know these people? How do I know which companies are employing? So this is what happens. Since online thing came, the online trending, the online sensation came along, all companies that are employing, they advertise online. So their job setting, job say there's a job search website. There's Indeed. There all are many other places that you can actually go and check. Right now, that's not the end. That's not what I recommend only. If you get a job, if you read each and every job description to say, what are they employing for? What are they looking for? Is it what I'm looking for? What are you actually looking for? Which one pays better? What are the hours configuration? You also check when they are employing, what are they saying is to happen? When they are employing, what are the conditions of work? In that, you are still in your house, you're checking online. You go to Indeed, you check which companies are employing, where are they located? Like in the UK, unless if you're going to do long distance or what you call tramping, whereby you go maybe for 5 days, you come back weekend or things like that, you are, and it is for your own benefit to work within your area, around your area. So you look from where you stay first. Let's say you're looking for a day job or night job. The most important thing that you should do is to look for where you stay. Why do we say that? It will cover the cost of transport, right? You should be able to catch up with time. Let's say you start at 6 a.m. So you should be able to get there on time. Should be able to come back. So that is very important, right? So that is to check online. I've checked online. I've found 5, 6, 7. Don't look for one. Look for 5, 6, 7 prospective jobs that you think you fit in. Right. When you're done with that, please, very importantly, so make calls. You call them. I see an advert online. Are you guys employing? Are you really currently employing drivers, or the position has been filled? If the answer is yes. If the answer is no, we move on to the next. If the answer, let's say the answer is yes. Please subscribe, comment, put your comments down below, and please explain your problem or what you think must be addressed. And please like the live, share it to other people that need this information. Right. So when you are done with looking online and you found perspectives, and then you call, don't call one and think, okay, it's answered, so that's it. Don't do that. You call the rest, right? 3, 4 companies, 5 companies. You go to see the place, right? When you go there, they say come, they're always going to say come for an appointment, so that you can go there. They see you are a real person. They see how fit you are. They see what's going on. You speak to them. You hear what they are saying, everything in discussion, right? A clever person, or I would say when I advise people, always when you get to a person like that, always make sure you get as much information that you may need, right? So when you get to the information that you need, when you get to who is there and what is it that you need, if you are happy or you're not happy, you're not happy, you move on to the next company. Even if you feel like I'm happy, it is always wise to compare. Go to another company, go check another company, go see what they have, what is the infrastructure. I will tell you this now. You are a new driver, right? You wouldn't want to work at a company that has very old trucks, very old fleet. That you might end up in a situation whereby you are new yourself, you are learning to drive, you are learning the roads, you are learning the terrain, you are learning the loads, you are learning how to strap or how to operate, but you have a truck that is always going to be on breakdowns over and over and over. So you need to avoid such. You are a learner, by the way. So at least some of the things must be correct. For example, you are going to get a job whereby at first, before you even go anywhere, the trucks they're going to be using are perfect in condition. So you know already. You don't have stress about from here to London. You'll get there. Right? You are only going to be stressed about how to get there, how to stay up and other things, which you ask, do you get training? You ask that in that interview. Right? It is very important to know always that each time there is, each time you're going to be coming for an assessment, yourself, you're going to be asked if you have any questions. So take that time to ask whatever that you seek. For example, which fleet do you have? Which trucks? Are you using Volvo? Are you using Mercedes? Are you using Mendism? Are you using Scania? Are you using DAF? Or are you using any, depending on what you know, what you think? Right. So when you're done with that, you already know how do you operate DAF? How do you operate Mercedes-Benz? How would you operate Volvo? Maybe you have not checked. You come back here. If you can't come back here to me, or you go to elsewhere, or whatever, you now ask, how do you operate a Volvo? Or you ask them to show you, right? It is you within your right to know which the trucks you are going to be using, be it on assessment or before assessment. You have the right to be explained on the functions of the wagon that you use, right? We are done with that. We are still on the day of assessment. You are being assessed as in how physically fit are you, how much do you know, where do you know, all those places. But already have told them you are a new driver. So many questions won't be, but they will be explaining to you more of how it works, right? We are done with that. So this is the first comment that we went, and they explained what you think is satisfactory and somewhat good, and you are happy with it. Don't be afraid. Don't get tired. Don't be lazy to go to the next company. Go elsewhere. The same process goes. Also, don't forget to know how much they pay and how they pay. Right? Why do you want to know how much they pay? You want to know how much is the amount going to fit my bills and beyond. You want to know if what I'm going to be earning is enough to feed my family. After all, we don't do it for nothing. Right? Next stage, we now check on, we now know the salaries. We are happy with either or 5 cameras or 10 cameras, whichever that is. Right. So what do we do next? We now want to know if the fleets, let's just say this one has a better fleet, this one doesn't have, this one has better salaries, doesn't have. Which routes do they go? You need to know all this. Which routes do they go? Do they go to Scotland? Do they go to France? Do they go Europe? Do they go Ireland? Which way do they, or they are just around the UK? Okay. Now, consider this fact, very important. How much time am I going to be away from home? All this information is for a new driver. Don't get excited with the fact that I've finally got a job, I now have the license, everything is going to be okay, I'm finally going to be driving. That is not so important. You might be driving, but be miserable at the same time. So all these factors, you consider them, put them on a spreadsheet. Then now you check which one is less important, which one is less important. Then you remove if ever they are not met by the conditions of the company that you are approaching. Then the next point, you go to the wagon. You are now being assessed practically. How do you drive? It is very, very important. Very important. Most assessors that assess us, they are not thinking, they're not seeing us as very good drivers. We are learning, right? Don't try to show as if you are better than them. It is a bad idea, right? Don't show them that you're a better driver. Drive according to the rules and regulations of the road. Drive as what is required of the rules of the road, right? When you're approaching a cave, you know you can spin the truck, you can spin your Lamborghini or whatever at home. Don't do that. Rather, it is very important to drive as required by the law. Show that you are a safe driver. That's what we're looking for, right? We are not looking for someone who can drive using one hand. We are not looking for someone who can answer their phone whilst driving. No, that's not allowed according to the highway code. So why would you want to do that, right? So on your assessment, drive according to the rules of the road. What you did when you attend your license is what they want to know. Can you practice it at a job level now? So always stick to that. Remember, it is a test. Don't panic, right? You already passed your license. You've already come to an assessment. You're almost on the brink of getting a job. When you are getting assessed, make sure of that. And please, always very importantly so, don't go for one assessment. Even if you feel the other company was better in the looks and you were there, but before you compare to another one, please don't go to another one. Don't leave the other one as is. It is very important to have a choice. It is very important to know you've come from this one, you went to that one, you've come from this one, you went to that one. So you have enough time to compare. And please take your time. Right? Don't be in a hush to get a job. Let me get there. I got interview. Let me get there. Don't do that. You are a new driver. Don't make wrong choices. Don't make bad moves. Don't make bad decisions whilst you are still new. Right? Very importantly, so check again. What is it that they every job, when you're going to every job and you're trying to look for work, what do they specialize in? Right? You are a new driver. There are certain laws that you can't afford to start with. Maybe they are dangerous. Maybe they are explosives. Maybe they are specialized goods. Maybe they are prone to theft and all that. So, because you still want to know how to get to London, maybe you still want to go to Glasgow. Maybe you still now want to know where Norwich is and Ipswich. You still want to know where is South Wales, where is France. You don't know all these things. That also tells you that you still don't know where the safe places are to stop. So it is very important as a new driver to make sure wherever you go and places that you go, places that you visit, are places, whatever the goods they carry matters for a learner. Even if they may say we can employ you, consider it for your own safety. Isn't it that what they are carrying is because of something that is very much on the radar of people that steal that stuff? What is it? Is it that what if the police always stop the company? Another thing that I almost forgot. This one is very important. Before you even go to the company, I almost forgot this one. Please check on the reviews online. Company, type the company reviews. What do people say about this company? If many people have been there, and what did they see? What do they say about it? You see, always make sure of that. It is very important. Right. Another very important thing is that, please, when you feel like the company is safe, the reviews are okay, then you go for interview or assessment. When you bid to assessment, that's when now you know which company to choose. Right? What do they specialize in? Cement, palletized goods. Right? They carry dangerous goods, ADR. They carry foods. And what times do they work? What time am I going to be working? You are a new driver, brand new from the box, and you know you have never driven a truck before. I wouldn't advise you to get a job and you start working at nights. Always in your life, you've been doing day jobs, right? So you don't want to be struggling at night. For example, you are on the route and then the route is diverted, and you have a double-decker trailer and it needs a 5-meter clearance. Now you don't know where to go. You become unsafe, you and the goods that you're carrying. So it is always to start with a job that you work in the afternoon when everyone is awake, when you are awake, and knowing for sure that even if you get lost, even the office is open. So you you get all the assistance you need. Right? Very important. Next point is that when you are about to get a job, it is very important to always try to see and to understand the culture of the company. What do this company do? How do they operate? How do they deal with problems? When something has happened en route, when I report my issues, when this has happened, when this circumstance happened, how do they deal with that? For example, you are involved in an accident, be it your fault or not your fault. How would the company deal with that? You assess all those kind of things before you get employed. It is very important because you wouldn't want your record of driving, of work, be tainted just because you made a mistake along the way, and the company does deal with that ruthlessly. So you need to understand that before you get employed. Good afternoon for those who are coming now, and if you are a new visitor, please subscribe so that you won't be a visitor anymore. And always tune in when we log in, tune in when we post. Please check those videos that will help you with information. We deal with driving the most. We understand some people are in different professions, but we think as anyone can have a car itself, it is important to know how to drive on the roads. So most videos are very much on that teaching on how to drive, the routes that I go, places that I reach, how do I execute certain functions of driving, and what do I use in the truck, what are the operatives, and all those things. It's very important. So please stay tuned. Today we are talking about all things a new driver and what they face and what must they do to get a good job, to select a good job. Right. Next thing on when you're about to get a job. You are happy you went to 2 companies, 3 companies, and you are happy. They're all nearby. The working hours are correct. You're not stressed about anything. Everything is going on well. Now, you have a job, and which one do you choose now? Number 1, time. Right? Most companies, they pay according to what you have done. Be it per loaded mile, be it hours of work, be it on a daily service. Right? So you now check which company offers more hours. If it is a day, it is about hours. Which company gives an opportunity of giving me more hours of work? For example, you get a job whereby, number 1, it is a sub of a subcontractor. In other words, I'm saying there is the supplier, which is the first person who issues or gives job work to truckers or transporters. Then now, this is the first one, the 9, right? First generation. Then there is a sub of this sub. Now, I think that tells you that whenever the first one has excess work, that's when he gives to the subcontractor, right? And then whenever the subcontractor has excess work, that's when he gives to the third in line. Now, already that can tell you. No, so what you do is, so you ask the employer, which companies are our suppliers? Where do we get most of our work? What do we carry? And what are our most destinations? You are allowed to ask that in an assessment, right? You're happy, everything is fine, but now you ask, okay, so I'm working here, I carry cement. So who is our supplier? Then they say, no, we get work from a certain company that is employed, and then this is what we carry, and this whatever. So now you know already, there are chances that sometimes you won't have work. So you are considering how much you are going to earn. And then if it is about hours, you quickly ask, so how many hours can I get a week? If they say definitely you're going to get 40 hours, 45 hours, you're going to have 9 hours a shift, or 15 hours a shift, or 14 hours a shift of work, then you know already what is the rate. You need to know what is the rate they're going to pay you. So already you know they're going to pay me this much. This is how it works. So already, before even talking about anything in much, you already know if this company can employ me or he can't. It is within your right to do that, Right. Next thing, the man is fine, the hours are okay, the fleet is fine, the culture of the company is fine, the time is fine. Then you check which companies of the three, if I am to work here, which company can offer me at least up to 2 years of service without interruption. You check that. How do you know that? You check on their services. What is it that they supply? Is it seasonal? Or it is something that is all year round? We are going to be working. So you check all that. If, for example, they carry farm produce, for example, let's say farm produce, you know already they are going to be carrying this kind of material, all those kind of things for a certain time. And then the other season, there's nothing. So you want to know, what do you do in that season when perishables are limited? What do we do when farm produce is over? Okay, we do carry this, we supplement it with this, or we go all over, we carry everything. Okay, then you put that aside. You go to another company, they supply, let's say, Amazon. Okay, so if they are going to be transporting for Amazon, you know somehow there's going to be work all the time. But now you also ask, aren't we a sub of a sub of a sub, or we are the main contractor? That is information is very important. You got on the job, you are assured of a track, you are assured of working. But now, for how long are you going to be working? Am I going to be working every day? Or I'm going to be working some weeks and some weeks not, or it's going to be 1 day or 2 days a week. That also affects your income. Right. So to some who are a little bit clever, they will know all this kind of information from the reviews. The reviews will tell the people who reviewed, they will already tell that we went for this company and this is what we faced. It was this and that problems. So you know already what you're going to likely face. Are you willing to do that or not? Right? For example, if you're working for a company that does loaded mile, let me explain that. It simply means you are paid for when you are only loaded. So if you are running empty, you're not being paid for that. So on that, for that company, you want to know, where do they load? Who is the company, their main supplier? Where do they get their loads? And where possibly would I load? Let's say I go down to London from Sheffield. From Sheffield, I go to Scotland. Or from Scotland, I go to Dumfries, that side of almost Northern Ireland. Right? And you also check, what is the average amount of money that a person gets a week? When we say average, we are saying an amount that is almost where, if you don't work much, you will get so much. That amount you should get it. So that's what we look for. Right? Another thing, here we haven't gotten to sign the contract yet. With all this information I've said so far, we haven't signed the contract. Right. Now, we are happy with everything. We are now signing the contract. We've signed the contract. We have given maybe 3-4 days training. Someone is going to train us. We are using a Mercedes-Benz. We are using Volvo. We are using Scania. Okay, all that's fair and fine. Now, you are now going to load your first load. Please, it is very important when you are being trained to try and understand, before you improvise, try to understand and get to do as what they require you to do. Why? Whenever you are still new at a place, that's when you are nervous, that's when you're not sure of what you're doing, so try to do what you were taught, so that if any mistake happens, you are now able to say, but this is what I was told, and no one is there to dispute that. You will become safe. What we don't want is to get into employment and get out immediately before we really test the honey. So we try to avoid that, right? Then we go. You now go the track. Let's just give you an example. You are loading from Birmingham. That's where the company is based, is in Birmingham. And maybe your first load, in most companies, what they do is they give you a very long route, the first load. Why? They want to check What we assessed on a short distance, are you able to copy with a long distance? And that long distance, there's enough for 4 hours and 3.5 hours change over in terms of you need a break or are you going to take a break? They also check your tachograph. What is your behavior in your driving? How much do you apply brakes? What speed are you traveling at? Are you driving properly? And all those things. And for your own information, for those who follow my channel, they've seen that the trucks that I post, they have cameras on the side. Right? Those cameras are active. There's actually, inside the truck, there's a function that I press. I can actually see the visible 4 areas, the back, the front, and the sides. I actually see all that from those cameras. So the company also see the same. So they can check on your behavior. So please, it is very important. You are a new driver, you are checking and you're doing. You must also be able to know that when you're doing all that, be able to understand the fact that things that you are doing there, they are visible to them. Very important, right? So always make sure that you abide by the rules. Always make sure that. Okay, now let's go to the next step. When you are now working, please, when you are loaded, your speed must be minimal. Why? Because when we are still trying to understand the use of the SatNav, GPS, all those kind of things that you use in the truck to know the direction to where you're going, right? Or even before we start moving, please know the height of your truck, your dimensions, the height, the length, and the width. Most trucks that we use now are clever. They have that monitor or the infotainment system that you can actually set the configurations of the truck. So whenever you are driving, you put SatNav, use the truck, don't use the phone GPS. Never use the phone GPS. Why? The phone GPS was made for people who drive small cars, right? So anyone who is using a wagon or a truck or a horse and trailer, depending on where you come from, how you call it, please never use Never use a phone GPS. The phone GPS, it is very functional for a car, not for a truck or for anything beyond 2.5 meters high. In most cases, it does not fit. So please make sure you use the one for trucks, right? Then you are done with that. Then the next thing is that when you are driving, it is very important when you are driving that be safe. Be on the lookout of other vehicles. Be on the lookout of pedestrians. Be on the lookout of cyclists. Be on the lookout of your terrain. Know where you're going before you go there. Right? If ever it's if you may do that, please always try to check on what is happening there. Right? On the route. I always use my phone for that. You have your SatNav from the truck that you're going to use to drive, considering the route that you're going to choose. So you check on the track, which route am I taking? For example, if you're going from Leicester to London, I'm going to use M1, going down to London. So now this is what you do. SatNav, oh, okay, you don't know yet. So you check your SatNav, it tells you the route. Then if it is not configured to tell you when anything is happening on the route, for example, there are accidents, there's traffic, whatever, and you need to be there on time, you check on the phone. The phone will see if there's a clear blue line or green line between, depending on what color it shows. It means it is fine to get there. But when there is red or whatever, those areas, it simply means there's traffic. Now you should see how much time you're going to waste in traffic. Are you still going to make it to where you're going? Or if you can't, what can you do? Or what other routes can you use? That is called route planning and management, right? If you happen to work at a company that always carries sophisticated stuff or stuff that need to be safe, please never park anywhere, right? Try to park where it is safe, like you were told at the training school or with the highway code. It is very important that always try to do that. Right. Lastly, on just from beginner to this part, right? Because now I will need to go to another level. Lastly, always try not to rush. Rather arrive safe with the Lord safe and be able to come back and take another Lord. Don't think of the next 7 Lords coming, but think of the only Lord that is which one, the ones that you are going to be doing at the moment. Every job is important. Don't take the next job as the one more important than the one you are on. Why is that? It is very important to understand the fact that on every job that you do, in itself, it adds value to the money that you earn. So before you earn from the next job, earn from this one first. And always try not to have defects on the track that you let be over time before they are fixed. If a truck complains of anything, please have it fixed. Report it with immediate effect. Why is that? You don't want to have unnecessary breakdowns. You don't want always to be stuck somewhere. It is unnecessary. Don't do it. Right? Try not to do that. So I think for this segment, we are done. Whoever is going to visit this video and try to learn on this one will understand everything from getting the job to getting the job, when you get the job, to from how to get the job, when you get the job, what to do, the most important thing. That's for the first ones. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will pause this video and we end this stream for the moment. When I come back, it will be another different topic so that we don't want to confuse people with many long stuff that is with many aspects. So now the next video, please tune in. It is about job opportunities in the UK and the companies the websites and the companies that are actually offering jobs and the research that I got, what are they offering and how to work there and what is happening. See you soon. Salute.